From being called the next Tiger Woods to earning the respect of even the PGA Tour's biggest nemesis, Greg Norman, here's what pro golfers really think about Jon Rahm. And I know what you're thinking. The next Tiger Woods? Really? Well, as far as Eddie Pepperell is concerned, yes, Rahm is the next Woods. And this man is a two-time DP Tour winner, so he knows what he's talking about, even when he's making such a big claim. Because look, you don't invoke the name of Tiger Woods so lightly. After all, he's the man who has shaped modern golf into what it is today, which is precisely why Pepperell is out here backing his claim with stats. He compared the Spaniard's record in professional golf to that of the legendary 15-time major champion. So, it turns out that Rahm has won more tournaments than he's missed cuts. He's won 20 tournaments and missed only 14 cuts. And here's the fun part. The only golfer in history who did that before Jon was, well, Tiger Woods himself. Yep, not even Nicklaus himself. So, unsurprisingly, Eddie Pepperell believes the 28-year-old Spaniard has got what it takes to dominate the golfing world as Woods once did, or as McIlroy did between 2012 and 2014. And Eddie's predictions didn't end there. He's also confident that the young Spaniard will win 6 majors by the end of 2024. And I mean, that's not easy to argue with, not after his incredible Masters win. It's no joke how Jon dominated the 2023 Masters back in April and made it look so easy. And those are not my words alone, mind you. That's what Justin Thomas thinks, too. Thomas himself has 2 major wins to boast of, and he's still a fan of just how much control Rahm displayed on the field at Augusta. That, too, in terrible weather conditions, and while the Spaniard is no stranger to some classy golf, his performance at Augusta was just something entirely different. And this wasn't something only the fans watching noticed. Thomas confirmed this, too. In his tweet congratulating Rahm, the American noted that he's played a lot of golf with Jon, but what he did at Augusta was his absolute best. So, yeah, he earned his 2nd major win at the Masters in April, and he definitely deserves his place as the 2nd best player in the OWGR rankings. But you've got to keep in mind that this magic we're seeing from Rahm in 2023 was not there until very recently. His 2022 wasn't as successful. So, how did he come out of the slump? In 2022, Rahm's swing was suffering. With a capital S, he didn't win any majors in all of 2022 after claiming the 2021 US Open, joining Rory McIlroy in the Major Drought Club. But before the 2022 Masters, Justin Thomas said something about Jon as a player. That might be the Spaniard's secret of making his way out of the drought, leaving McIlroy alone in the dark and jumping ahead of him in the world rankings. Anyway, Thomas revealed that the 28-year-old is hard on himself. When he practices, he's his own biggest critic. And well, with that kind of attitude, no wonder the guy's out here winning everything in sight in the 2023 season. And his recent success means he's the superstar of the future, at least according to the former American golfing legend and instructor Butch Harmon. Yep, the 79-year-old has nothing but praise for Rahm after his terrific major win. He thinks the 28-year-old has all the tools to become one of the best players golf has ever seen. Pretty similar to what Eddie Pepperell said, right? Maybe the Spaniard really is after Tiger's throne. Anyway, the tools Harmon spoke of are Rahm's ability to hit it on the fairways and on the greens, not to mention his incredible putting. But Butch doesn't think the technical strengths alone will make the 28-year-old a superstar. It's also how he uses the brain when he's on the field. He's learned to be in absolute control of his emotions and keeps an eagle eye over every move his competitors make, especially their mistakes. Butch was impressed by how ready the Spaniard was to take advantage of Brooks Koepka's mistakes throughout the Masters in Augusta. But Harmon isn't a new fan of Jon's talent. He said that to him, the one-time Masters champion has been the best player in the world for a few years now. It's just that now, the young man has stepped up and proved what Butch knew was right. And he's not the only former legend who can't get enough of Rahm's 2nd major win. Sir Nick Faldo is also pretty much a fanboy now. He was also particularly impressed by the 2-time major winner's control over his mind. It's probably because Rahm wasn't always this good at navigating his emotions on the field. He'd let them get the best of him in the past, but not anymore. Sir Faldo thinks his 2023 run at Augusta was evidence that the world's number 2 is a seasoned campaigner. He thinks his unique swing wouldn't have taken him far had he not kept his composure the way he did. Something the 65-year-old revealed is incredibly hard to do. No matter what happened, Rahm didn't fluster, and that's what earned him the green jacket, according to Faldo. And from the looks of it, the Spaniard will only get better in the future. Rich Beam believes that too. If Butch Harmon thinks Jon could be the greatest player ever, Then analyst Rich Beam also believes the sky is the limit for the world number 2. He thinks that the rate at which Rahm is improving is almost impossibly fast. After an underwhelming 2022, it was no surprise that the 28-year-old wanted to make a strong comeback, but Beam thinks this comeback is much stronger and much faster than he'd imagined. And the great thing is that this comeback is not just good for Rahm himself, it's being welcomed by even his rivals. Rory McIlroy, for one, doesn't mind some competition, especially if it means the greater good of the PGA Tour. See, just as the 2023 season started, so did the competition for the #1 AWGR ranking between McIlroy, Rahm, and Scottie Scheffler. And the Northern Irishman thinks it's great for golf and for the PGA, that because of players like Rahm, the competition for becoming the very best is so close. And their mutual respect for each other goes farther back than just the 2023 golf season. Back in November 2022, when Rory was on top of the OWGR rankings, he showered the young Spaniard with praise and appreciation at the DP World Tour finale. He said that he might be the best player right now, but Rahm is right there with him, because that's how terrific a golfer he is. They've both played together in the past for the European team in the Ryder Cup, and the Northern Irishman believes that the 28-year-old is not just great for world golf to have, but that he's really a gift for Europe. He loves playing with Rahm on his side and can't wait to play with his rival and his buddy in the 2023 Ryder Cup. Speaking of rivals, Phil Mickelson also gets along with the Spaniard. This is especially interesting because Mickelson finished second in the 2023 Masters, where Rahm took home the green jacket, and more importantly because Phil is one of the deserters of the PGA Tour. He's with LIV now, but the LIV defector wasn't salty about losing the green jacket to the 28-year-old. In fact, he believes Jon earned it. The 6-time major champion was also impressed by the incredible golf the Spaniard played all week, but that's not it. He also said that he can now see why Rahm is considered the best player in the world by so many. Damn, is anyone keeping count of the times he's been called the best? And it's not surprising that Phil has been so nice to Rahm. In 2022, when the tensions between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour were at an all-time high, it was Rahm who stood up and defended the American's legacy when he was being slammed left and right for signing up for LIV. But then again, the 6-time major champion isn't the only LIV guy with a soft corner for the current world number 2. Greg Norman also respects him, and he doesn't respect a lot of people, so this is special. So back in October 2022, Rahm ignored all the differences between the Tour and the Saudi-backed league and congratulate a 22-year-old fellow Spaniard, Eugenio Lopez Chacarra, for his win at a LIV event. And, well, that won Norman's heart. The Aussie CEO of LIV Golf took to Twitter and appreciated the speech in which the 28-year-old congratulated the young LIV golfer. Rahm had said that he didn't care about how everyone is always trying to pit the two golfing circuits against each other. He was just trying to appreciate a young golfer's talent. That's it. Norman thought this statement was classy and represented everything that professional golf should be all about. Golfers supporting golfers, no matter what side anyone's on. So yeah, to sum up everything everyone has said, I think we can conclude that Jon Rahm is based anyway, from having the respect of even the PGA Tour's biggest nemesis to being called the next Tiger Woods. That's what pro golfers really think about Rahm.